Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 189 of Gamerhead Radio. I am Charlie Technotronicorn Worthley.
I am Jonathan Santiago, aka Fallon Flynn.
And up until about 90 seconds ago, Goat was planning on coming, but as one can imagine, life on the tour road can be a bit chaotic and unpredictable, and he had to pull out of tonight's recording literally at the last second.
Yeah, like
So,
moments before we went live. So there will be a gaping hole in our hearts where the goat used to be. Wait. That sounds like maybe there was a tiny goat living inside of us, and I can't.
But
I don't
really,
want to
John,
think
isn't there a
about the
tiny goat
gravity.
living inside of all of us?
Yes, absolutely there is. That's what I was getting to, Charlie. You're absolutely right.
I'm sorry, did I steal your thunder there? I didn't mean to.
No, it's fantastic. It's true. That's what people on this show don't realize. Goat is really only like 2 feet tall. Um.
And I hope he's much smaller than that if he's living inside of us. But okay.
Oh, good God. Oh yeah. Still, oh Jesus. Yeah. When you put it like that, yes.
Yeah.
So
So John,
yes.
you've had kind of an exciting week.
I did have a very exciting week. I had mentioned last week at the end of last week's episode that I was kind of at very short notice going to be going in for an interview for a day job. As I mentioned, I have a day job. A lot of people who watch the show or are fans of the bands always seem to be really fucking stunned when Nick or myself talk about having a day job. What do you need a day job for? Because being in a rock and roll band, even if some repute, it does not mean that you have a shitload of money. Actually, here's a friendly word of advice from Entertainer John. Most of the people that you know in the world of entertainment that you think have lots of money are lying to you so that you will keep buying their wares. Most of them are very poor. That's one of the smoke and mirror tricks of the trade. And the ones that do have money, just not as much as you think they do. If you realize that they were as poor as you, you probably wouldn't support them, but most of them are. So yeah, I managed to get a day job that is fucking like 3 times better than the one that I have now, with a lot of flexibility to it. So I'm very happy. I also bought a new car. Anybody who knows me personally knows that I was driving a flaming piece of shit, that Charlie and Goat witnessed on more than one occasion, could just clunk down the street, on the verge of death. And I managed to buy an actual, like a real car with low mileage and shit on it, and that will last me for a long time. So it was a good week for me and my family because there's some forward moving momentum, progress towards probably buying a house at some point, in the not too distant future. So good stuff, man, for sure. It was a good week. What about you, Charlie? I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have been just stampeded by a herd of wild ponies.
Yeah, basically that. So so Ponyville Cider Fest 2016 is kicking off in less than 2 weeks now. And last week we were talking about crunch time in the video gaming world. This has been my crunch time in the con prep world. And so I have been up until 4 a.m. the last 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night, just working on stuff. And the same thing that John before the show. I basically made like a goal, like a promise goal thing to myself and to Michelle and to my staff, reciprocally, that this would not be the same situation that always seems to end up happening, where everything would just come down to the last minute and and cause all these late nights, right up to to the point where it's like we either don't sleep tonight or we don't have a con book kind of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the bad news is that everything is coming down to the last minute, but the good news is that it's coming down to the last minute to our safe good deadlines. So it's what usually happens is that we completely miss our deadlines, and then like I say, we get to the point where it's like risk of not having a book or attendee shirts or something like that just because of life, and we're not paid to do this stuff, and so it kind of takes a backseat to other priorities usually. But very least this time we managed to get things to the point of where we're having these late nights, but they're to hit our good, safe, comfortable deadlines. And so yeah, hopefully the majority of the stuff will be done tonight. We'll probably do some proofreading on the con book over the next day or two before we send it to the printers, but that's in a comfortable amount of time because they're local. and yeah, so that's very good news. Is that I'm okay with with losing sleep and getting stressed out now because, like I've mentioned, I'll have some time to kind of recover over the next couple of weeks. But do that now, then next week, the week before con, and then I get to the con and I'm already exhausted. So
Yeah, yeah. What you're gonna see next week, between now and next week, by the time Charlie shows up, for next week's airing, what you're gonna see is a man that's aged about 30 years in a week. It happens every time, every single time. That beard gets like a foot longer every week just before the con. Madness.
it's true, and grayer too. This wrong side. This all was not here 3 or 4 weeks ago. That's
Nope,
this is all
nope,
brand new.
that's completely new, man. I've known you for a minute now, and I don't recall seeing any of that nonsense.
That's a lie, but okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Anywho, but yeah, no. I mean, things are good. Things are, they're moving along, and I'm just, excitement and hype is building for So yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
excellent.
but yeah. Cider Fest, and
Right on.
that's all I have to say
So
about that as I stall and get the releases up.
we're gonna be doing what we refer to as or what we just earlier today we talked about the format of how we were gonna do tonight's show. We're gonna do for you guys a little bit of a different thing. We're gonna call this an express show, like maybe a short show, a little bit different than we normally do. Just because what we wanted to do this week for our feature in our mailbag is something that we need more time with in order to flesh it out and turn it into something that is a meaty feature for you guys and something that is thorough for you guys. So rather than get on here and just throw something together that's half baked, we wanted to take a little bit of time with it. Um, I'm not going to say for sure it'll come next week, but in the next week or two, we're going to be talking to you guys about the PlayStation VR and kind of the current state of VR now that it's been out for almost a year as a commercial product. But on the heels of the PlayStation VR, we're going to be testing it out and playing some games for it, and bringing that information to you guys to give you our opinions on that since we're big fans of VR on the show. But no half baked feature for you guys today. Instead, we're just going to give you guys a little bit of a short show in lieu of what we had prepared, just because we just don't
Yep.
want it to be shoddy.
Yeah, it's basically going to be the first half of the show that you're used to. We'll go through
Mhm.
releases, we'll go through what we've been playing. My list will be short, and then we'll do the news as usual, and then we're just not going to do a feature this week. And then in lieu of a mailbag, we have a bonus review of the Pokemon Go Plus from one of our listeners, Darcy, and so we're going to share that with you guys because I none of us have I believe have gotten a chance to play around with one yet, as much as I've been trying to find one to no avail. So yeah, this will probably be about half the length of usual, but I kind of need the time anyways. I'm going right back to work as soon as I'm done here. So yeah.
Excellent. Charlie, video games have got to be coming out this week like they do every week.
As they do. So
As they
Sunday, today, October 16th, Skylanders Imaginators coming out on the Xbox One. Well, is out on the Xbox One, the PS4, the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii U. Tomorrow, Monday, October 17th, Franchise Hockey Manager 3 is coming out for PC. On Tuesday, October 18th, Crazy Machines 3 is coming out for the PC. Eagle Flight is coming out for the Oculus Rift. Mordheim City of the Damned is coming out on the Xbox One and the PS4. Exist Archive, The Other Side of the Sky is coming out on the PS4 and the Vita. Soon, VS, I don't know if that's VS or Versus, but Sega Hard Girls, all right, coming
that
out on the
sounds
Vita.
filthy or
I
muscly. I don't know.
The fact that it has Sega in it really is making me wonder what this is all about.
Can't imagine, honestly.
It's from Idea Factory. Um, like the Sega logo, characters. Just pulling up the list of characters. Um, I don't recognize any of these people. They're like all like, oh, she's a Dreamcast. This character is a Dreamcast. Hang on a second. I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
got a
attempt a
screen share
screen
because
share.
what I'm picturing in my mind's eye is not. I picture a woman wearing like a Zero suit type thing, like Sam is, but it being like a Dreamcast skin, and I have a feeling I'm probably ass wrong about that.
You, well, John, you're not actually that wrong.
That fucking hat, though, man. That fucking hat. I want that hat.
So for the audio listeners, it's a
Mm.
pink-haired, your typical like anime fighter girl, but she's in like an orange and white Dreamcast color scheme outfit.
Goofy.
Her knee pads are VMUs, like modified VMUs. But her hat is like a Dreamcast controller. If you had taken like the sides of it and like split it out into like horns, it's super. It's very interesting. So who else?
She's got
We've got,
Dreamcast horns. She looks like
yeah.
a demon.
So we've got if I don't know where she's from. Hatsumi Sega.
Uh,
There's our Dreamcast girl. The character is literally called Dreamcast. Sega Saturn is okay. All right, that's
they're
okay.
based on the consoles, obviously.
Mega Drive is one of the characters.
Dude, that is
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Hold on. So what the
That's
fuck
kind
is
of
this? Is this a
awesome.
fighting game? What kind of game is this?
It appears. It certainly looks like a fighting game to me.
It's an RPG.
Oh no, it's an RPG. It's an RPG.
I'm gonna be honest
This
with you. I
is
kind of want to play this.
Yeah, this is kind of. Hang on, I gotta get back into the characters list here. Audio listeners, you guys gotta go check this out. Game Gear. Oh,
Gear?
she's adorable.
Dude, I want this really bad.
This is so cool. Neptune. Okay. In the Sega land, but okay. Nep Gear. Just basically, it's like a sailor schoolgirl.
Look at the quote on her name. I'm sorry. I know that my personality isn't very strong. must be some sort of an inside joke to a piece of shit hardware that didn't do well.
And Uzumi.
Amazing. Uzumi, I don't know. I
and
think
then
I think that she's supposed to be one of the VMUs. I think she's supposed to be an actual VMU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got a gallery here, and I mean, okay, so it very much looks like a. You know what this looks like? This looks like kind of like Fantasy Star.
Fantasy Star, yeah.
Yeah.
We both went to the same place.
Which that was a Sega property too, wasn't it? Or am I imagining?
It was. We haven't heard anything about this. I wonder why not. This is a really bizarre, like this is a so weird it might work idea.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna have to kind of look
Wow.
into this.
I dig this.
So yeah, I'm glad I looked that up. Wow, that's just wacky.
And that's coming out when, Charlie?
This Tuesday, October 18th. Once again, where in the world did it go here? Super Dimension Neptune. I don't know if it's VS or Versus, but okay. Sega Hard Girls. Oh, it's a Vita title. Dang it!
What the fuck?
Well, I guess okay. All right. Anyways, back to the list. Let's see. Rock Band Rivals is coming out for the Xbox One and PS4. Batman Return to Arkham is coming out on the Xbox One and the PS4. The remastered collection of the Arkham games. If you haven't played them, this is a fantastic opportunity to fix that error.
I really want to play these again. I'm in Arkham mode, man.
Let's see. The Bug Butcher on PS4. Hopiko on PS4. The Jackbox Party Pack 3 on Xbox One and PS4. Sports Bar VR coming out on the PSVR. And Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour on the Xbox One and PS4 for some reason. Tuesday, October 20th, Battalion Commanders coming out on the Vita. Pixel Gears coming out on the PSVR. The Keeper of Four Elements coming out on the Vita. Leviathan's Expansion coming out on the PC. And Friday, October 21st, Battlefield 1 is coming out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Civilization 4 is coming out on the PC. Lego Harry Potter Collections. So if you're not familiar, the previous Lego Harry Potter games came out in 2 volumes. It was like year 1 through 4, and then 5 through 7, I think it was, were the 2 editions of that. So apparently they're putting it all together on the PS4. And then WRC 6 is coming out on the PS1, PS4, and the PC. Looking into the future, on Tuesday, October 25th, Batman the Telltale Series Episode 3, New World Order is coming out
on the 25th? Good.
On the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Yeah, they're making good time with this. I'm glad to see that, like with some of the Telltale games in the past, if you guys haven't played them, typically they don't really tell you. Like, you find out when the episode is coming out by them saying, like, oh yeah, by the way, it'll be out next week. They'll just kind of throw that up on their Facebook and their Twitter or whatever. And the breaks between episodes, I feel like, have been longer with other titles than they have been with Batman here, with the third one now coming out already in October 25th. So One a month, I think, is great pace for them. About what they've been doing, so that's excellent. Corpus Party is coming on the 3DS. Monster Jam Crush It on the Xbox One. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 on the Xbox One and the PS4. Farming Simulator 17 on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Dark Side, there are people who are nuts about that game. Like it's a farming simulator and I don't know if it's like trucking simulator, like the semi truck simulator.
Euro truck simulator. That's what it is.
There's just it's interesting.
I don't know, man. Different strokes.
Truth. Darksiders War Mastered Edition on the Xbox One. Exiles End on the PS4 and the Vita. Just Dance 2017. My God, that series is still happening on the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, the PS4, the PS3, the Wii U, the Wii and the Wii U and the PC. Wow, the Wii is getting a release. Okay, cool. King's Quest Chapter 5, The Good Knight, Knight, on the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, the PS4, the PS3, and the PC. World of Final Fantasies coming on the PS4 and the Vita. Ari, Night Alone on the PC and the Vita, and Dark Souls 3, Ashes of, I think is how you say that, on DLC for Dark Souls 3, obviously, on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Wednesday, October 26th, Clockwork Empires is coming out on the PC. Thursday, October 27th, Alice VR is coming out on the PC, for the Vive and the Rift. Through the Woods is coming out on PC. Weeping Doll is coming out on the PSVR. And Friday, October 28th, Carnival Games VR is coming out on the Vive and the PSVR. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is coming out on the PC. Titanfall 2 is getting its release on Xbox One, PS4, and the PC.
Please don't suck. Please don't suck. Please don't suck.
John does not want that game to suck, in case that was not clear.
I really don't want that game to suck. I have suspicions, though.
The Elder Scrolls Skyrim Special Edition, the remastered version of that's coming out on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. And it's we are officially in video game release season here, folks. In case you were not sure, to clarify, we are.
Yeah, in the thick of it for sure, man.
Yeah, John, what are you looking forward to here?
Definitely Telltale Batman, definitely the Arkham remasters, and now that fucking Dream or Sega Girls game sounds cool as shit, man. There were a couple other things in there that have my interest, but we're now winding up into the game season where shit's about to get really dumb and stupid. Now I know for a fact I will have Battlefield 1 shortly because one-time B Squad co-host and friend of the show Ryan On is now stationed at the base that he will be in tech school for, and informed me that since I was the only one that wrote him letters while he was locked up in the military Huskow, he's kindly buying it for me as a gift for my birthday, which is next month on the 20th of November. So if anybody else out there wants to buy me video games for my birthday, feel free. Knock yourselves out with a big giant rock. But yeah. So I will have Battlefield 1 for my birthday. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll be talking extensively about it because I love the beta. It was a shitload of fun and the most fun I've had playing a Battlefield game in a long time. So, but yeah. So that's everything for me. What about you, Charlie? Anything particular reaching out to you there?
Well, Darcy in the chat room has pointed out that apparently that Sega Super Dimension Neptune game is available on the PS4. So I'm kind of interested in finding out more about this and checking out reviews and everything. Like I haven't played like a good classic old school JRPG in a really long time. And so I depending on how long it takes, like if it's like an 80-hour game, I might not be able to justify the investment into that. But just because, well, I am a little busy, in case you haven't noticed. It looks adorable. Yeah, I might check that out. But so aside from that, I mean, I'm looking forward, obviously, to the next episode of Batman Telltale. But aside from that, I'm basically just looking forward to. As much as I'm looking forward to Ciderfest, I'm also looking forward to being over Ciderfest so that I can relax and actually kind of play the game. The fact that I still have not Fallout 4 in Xbox One is a personal embarrassment of mine, and I get a little choked up when I talk about it. So that's something that I need to correct.
We'll go back and listen to the recorded episode of the show, and he'll be like, "See, I fucking told you so. Still got the shrink wrap on it."
No, because he borrowed it. Remember, he took the shrink wrap
Oh,
off
that's
of
right.
it.
That's right. He started it and he was playing it. And
Yep.
I actually started it. I think I started it in the spring and was playing it, and I was really enjoying it. I plan to get back to it, but you know, when I'm not balls deep in The Witcher, so yeah.
Awesome. So that's about it. As so now those are releases. See, this is how frazzled I am. I've done 100 well no I mean like we're on episode 189 here. I've done all
Holy
but like
shit.
I've done all but like 30 or 40 of them or something like that, and I'm currently remembering how to actually do the show. Like I'm having trouble remembering. I'm also apparently having trouble remembering how to make words into sentences, so that's a
Those
little
gray hairs in your beard are creeping up into your brain, Charlie.
goddamn truth. So
oh my god, I just underneath your lower third, I just fucking saw your logo on your shirt, your fucking science team. He's wearing a Star
Science
Trek
division.
polo shirt. Look at him, man.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
hardcore nerd over here. Alex Trebek can blow me. You know that reference? You know what I'm talking about there?
I do.
Okay. So just in case any listeners or viewers, real quick non sequitur. There was a contestant who was on Jeopardy. I think it was this last week that this just happened. Where she mentioned to Trebek, they did that little small talk in between like rounds or whatever, and she mentioned that she listens to nerdcore, and she described it as, it's like nerdy people rapping about things that they're passionate about, whether it be geeky stuff or video games or having a hard time or relating it to relationships or whatever. And oh, so you mean losers? And like apparently he took it back later and said like, oh, I was just having a joke, ha ha ha. But of course the internet climbed right up his asshole and ripped him a second one.
As well they should.
And I haven't watched Jeopardy. I don't watch Jeopardy. I don't really know, but apparently a lot of people are saying like, yeah, no, in the last couple of years he's just turned into like a grumpy, crotchety old man that just kind of hates everybody.
It's a pretty well documented thing that Alex Trebek is like a raging egomaniac. Like you can find early footage of him in the 80s doing Jeopardy where he was like screaming at the people on the sets and shit. Like he is not a nice man and has been widely documented as not being a nice man. So as Darcy says in chat, and as Daryl Hammond said while playing Sean Connery, shuck it, Trebek.
You took that because I was going to try and do it, but you do it much better than me. So I'm glad you took that one. So anyways, video games. I have found just enough time to play a single game this last week. It is a mobile
lucky we
game.
got that.
That's well, yes, that this is true. It is a mobile game. It is My Little Pony Puzzle Party, which is a game that just came out this last week. It's your typical like Bejeweled style like match 3 game. I'm screen sharing right now, so you can kind of I'll show you guys a little bit of it. It's actually pretty fun, even if you don't give a crap about Pony. I think it's actually kind of a fun game because there's like power-ups and special moves and stuff. I have it connected to my Facebook account, which is why my avatar is on there. But so basically, I'm going to try and play this backwards. So you'll have specific goals in every level you have to do. So instead of like clearing the board or whatever, I haven't played a lot of these games, so a lot of these things may be very, very, very typical. I just don't know. So like, okay, so quick side note. One of the cool things about this is that the actual voice cast actually did a bunch of original recording for this game, and so which with a lot of the games that have come up previously is actually not common. Usually they get like impersonators, like people that are cheaper, I'm sure, to do the voices, and they're never any as good, or they just like grab clips from the show and just reuse those. So the fact that like so far, I mean, I think it's pretty much the entire cast did original recordings for this game.
Oh, right on. That's very cool.
But yeah, so this is a new kind of level that I came across where you have to see these columns. There's a bunch of columns. I'll try and describe this as best I can for the audio listeners. But so it's your typical grid of like multicolored blocks or whatever. Just think of any Bejeweled type game that you've seen before. This is I'm like this like level 20 odd, and some of the blocks have clouds around them. So it's not about clearing the colored blocks, is that you have to clear blocks inside those clouds to clear them out. So like when I hit those, try and do this backwards. it gets rid of the clouds there, and so I've got to kind of do the rest of them. So this is an example, but there's like power-ups, like as you go through the game here at the bottom of the screen, you can see that you come across like the main characters, and you can use them as then they have like special abilities that they can use. And so the higher you get in the game, like the better special abilities that they have, and you build up their abilities by clearing blocks that are their color, essentially is what it comes down to. But yeah, I mean, like it's been a while since I've had a good pooping game, and that's basically what this has turned into for me.
Good. I love knowing that you're playing My Little Pony while you're taking a dump, Charlie. That's really good.
I played other times too.
We are gonna have to, by the time he gets done with this convention, like we're gonna have to send in help. We're gonna have to literally airlift him out of Ponyville. It's consumed him. It's consumed him. There's nothing left. There's nothing left of the man we knew. There is only the Technotronicorn. There is no Taylor Worthy. There is only Zool.
I can think of worse things, honestly. But yeah, no, it's a fun little game. It's free. It does the in-app purchase things, like you can buy. There are power-ups that you can use and activate inside the level to help you clear out stuff. And of course, there's you can pay real money for like packs of power-ups and stuff like that. But for what it's worth, 500,000 installs on Google Play since it came out earlier this last week, 13,528 ratings, and it's at an average of 4.6. So I think that's not too shabby, I would say. I'm assuming the majority of these players are fans of the show, but one must assume that a number of them, probably aren't. And so I think the rating, like I say, even if you don't give a crap about the show, it seems like it's a relatively well-received game just in general. So but yeah, no, I haven't even had time to even think about actually sitting on my couch and playing a proper video game. So that's all I got this week. John, how about you? What have you been playing, if anything?
I did. I played quite a bit this week, despite the fact that I had a busy week preparing for my new job and so on and so on. I had enough time to sit down and play, just enough to I guess call it a full week of gaming, and still have something to talk about on the show. So, as I talked about last week, I'm right in the middle of Witcher. I'm still fucking playing it. I didn't really make a lot of headway in the actual story though, because I spent a lot of time doing just like some of the like little side quest stuff, clearing out monster dens, and doing like little side quests and things like that, some of which have been fun. Playing Gwent, enjoying the sights along the way, as it were, even though I know that this is going to end up making it a painfully long game for me. I'm already at like some 55 hours or something like that, and I'm not even a quarter of the way done with the story.
Now,
yeah,
where are you at with your overall opinion of the game, John?
I like
at
it.
the time, because
I
I remember at the time, when we're talking about like games of the year for like last year, you were saying that like like a lot of people were comparing, mentioning that two big contenders were Metal Gear Solid 5 and Witcher 3, and you had said that you thought that Metal Gear Solid was far superior. Like, are you still kind of on that same page? Or
well, see, here's the problem. This is what makes it so difficult for me, ultimately. The scope and scale of Witcher certainly makes it game of the year material, because it's the breadth of it is so expansive, right? But on a design level, I still think the controls are really wonky and kind of mediocre. I think the combat is serviceable but very average. And I think that the menus are fucking terrible. Like, they're archaic and they're slow and clunky. So it's weird, because a lot of the shit that I don't like about Witcher is a design related thing, not a storytelling thing, not the world they built, not the characters they built. All that is fucking superb. It's top notch. But Metal Gear has kind of the opposite problem on a playability level, and on the design level. It's so the menus are very intuitive and well laid out, if not a little bit busy. The controls are some of the best I've played, some of the most precise I've played in a current generation third person game. they're so precise. Once you get good with the controls of Metal Gear, you can do whatever the fuck you are thinking you can do inside of the realm of that possibility. And there's no like, oh shit, I bumped into a rock and I'm kind of stuck on the geometry. So now this monster is beating me up because I rolled into a rock that's glitchy. Like Metal Gear doesn't really have a lot of that. The world that you inhabit is a little bit barren because you're in the desert, but things work largely as you expect them to in that game. And it's got some really smart systems. Um, there's a whole bunch of weird, clunky shit in Witcher. So that's a hard question to answer because on a design level, I think Metal Gear is a superior game. On a storytelling level, I think The Witcher is a superior game. Um, if you
Okay.
were to take the playability of Metal Gear and the frame rate for Metal Gear and put it into Witcher, it would be one of the greatest games of all time. So I know a lot of people will still argue that it is. I'm going to go ahead and say that I still think the Elder Scrolls games are better. Not, I wish the Elder Scrolls games were as adult as Witcher. I like how grown up the Witcher games, the Witcher is. I like a lot of the lore a little bit better in the Elder Scrolls game. Um, just wish it was less Ren fairish. I guess I don't know. Um, although technically, I guess in one way, Witcher kind of has a little bit more of a Ren fair vibe in certain spots too. I don't know. I could go on for fucking ever about this. I think Witcher is a great game. The problems that I have with it don't ruin the experience for me, but they bother the fuck out of me because we're kind of past this point with some shit. But anyways, that's just me. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Um, what else did I play this week? So the Blizzard put into effect Overwatch's Halloween event, and just like when they did the Summer Olympic Games thing, they had like it was kind of like a takeoff of Rocket League, where you have Lucio and a team of Lucios that are using their like little blast cannons to knock the ball all over the place. I very much enjoy what they're doing now with the Halloween event. So a few characters have alternate like Halloween costumes, and they're really fucking good. If you haven't seen them, I'm gonna go ahead and screen share in just a minute here. But the ones that got costumes, not everybody got them. Um, were for a little mode that they made for the game called Junkenstein's Revenge. And the Junkenstein's Revenge character is based on obviously, you know, fucking my brain all of a sudden. Junkrat, they made him like Frankenstein, and Roadhog is supposed to be Junkenstein's monster. Reaper is supposed to be like the headless horseman, and then they made Mercy a witch. Symmetra got a costume. I think who else got a costume? Reinhardt and Zenyatta, and they're just really fucking good. So to give you an idea, um, this is the image for Mercy as a witch, and I just Blizzard's fucking design everything is just so amazing all the time. Like that's her sitting on a fucking broom, you know,
Okay.
so cool. And then to give you an idea of what they did with Reaper, he's supposed to be like a headless horseman, kind of pumpkin headed type character, and he looks really cool as well. And then the last one I'll show you is going to be the Roadhog is supposed to be Junkenstein's monster. Um, of course, none of these things have anything to do with the playability of the game. It's just kind of a neat thing, and I'm a big Halloween person, so I really appreciate the extra effort they put into it. This is the Roadhog skin for Junkenstein's monster. It came out really fucking cool. So you can get those skins, inside of the Halloween themed loot boxes, which are like pumpkins full of candy. But the Junkenstein's Revenge little like mini game is almost like a horde mode where it's you and there's four characters that are part of it. It's who's it that you play as, not fight against. It's Soldier 76, Anna, um fuck, who else? My brain isn't working. um I don't know. My brain is just Macquarie and then fucking Hanzo, and they're perfectly fine for what they do. And you just get waves of guys coming at you, and then the Junkenstein characters, the ones that I just showed you that are in costumes, except for Junkrat, attack you, and they're like boss characters, and you have to keep them from blowing up a door, and it's kind of frantic. And on the medium, I can't finish it on medium. It's too fucking hard. I think just because I'm getting teammates who aren't playing their roles right, but it's a lot of fun, and it kind of spurred me into playing the competitive mode and the quick play mode, and I've been playing a lot of that this week, kind of going back to it and doing that. I also played our free games with gold games today. I Am Alive, which I never played back in the day more than the demo. Enjoyed that. Don't know if I'll finish it. And then The Escapists, which is this weird little like pixel art style game where you're in prison and you have to craft items and break out of prison without getting caught. It's this really strange little game. There's different types of prisons that are different difficulty levels. Really cute little game. Almost kind of has like a Terraria art style, maybe is what I would liken it to. Or if you have ever bought like little 8-bit perlers or something, they kind of look like those, you know. I liked it. Again, don't know if I'll finish it. I didn't get far enough into that one to try and figure it. So play it some more. But yeah, I think that's everything I played this week. I didn't have time to dig into anything else. So more than I probably should have for as busy as I was. But yeah, that's everything for me.
All right. And so now that you know what we did this last week in video gaming, let's find out what the industry did this last week in video gaming. John, what do we have for news this week?
They didn't do shit. No. So news this week is barely news. There's been a run of that lately, and it seems like this always happens on when we're leading up to the hot season for video game releases is people are kind of waiting to see what comes out, so no one's really doing anything special, or they're just kind of collapsed in working on everything to show at E3 next year. You know what I mean? So they're not really doing much. But something hot off of the presses today at number 5 that piqued a lot of people's attention today. Rockstar seems to be teasing what people are going to be people are assuming is Red Dead Redemption 2, but is some people are afraid is just a Red Dead Redemption like HD remake, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I guess Rockstar is not too famously terribly known for doing HD remakes, with the exception of Grand Theft Auto 5 and some of the ports of their previous games, I guess, for like mobile platforms they've been doing recently. But you don't really see them take high profile games and reskin them and repackage them like a lot of other places do. Otherwise, I think most of their catalog would have been remade by now based on their reputation.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, because like, especially like, a lot of the older Grand Theft Auto games, like 3 and Vice City and San Andreas, like you can get those on like iPad now. And so, they I would say that they, whether or not they would, do like a remastered version or something like that, probably is not something that they would do, but
ports for sure.
Port. So I mean, I wonder if it's just something as simple as that Red Dead Redemption is going to be available on like iOS or something like that. I mean,
yeah, maybe,
or mobile, mobile platform.
I don't know. I don't think that game's too fucking big to have up on a mobile platform. At least, I mean, that game.
I mean, well, you've got Grand Theft Auto 3 on mobile. I mean, I don't think Red Dead Redemption's that much bigger.
If you're thinking of, are you sure you're not thinking of Red Dead Revolver? Because Redemption's fucking huge, man. I mean, that game is pretty massive.
But compared to Grand Theft Auto 3?
3? Yeah. Hugely. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not just talking about
I'm sure they'll downscale the graphics, to work better on mobile, but I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Well, I mean, I'll be happy to have any of it. Whatever they bring with them, I'm all for that. But we've been waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2 for a long fucking time. And that game, the first Red Dead Redemption, is one of it might be in my top 5 favorite games of the last like 10 years, man. I mean, that's how much I love
really
that
good game. Really
fucking really great
game.
And to give you an idea of what it was, I'll screen share once more to show you guys. This is what everybody went all ape shit over. Is this just this red Rockstar logo? And everybody assumes that red means Red Dead. So
hang on, put that back up real quick. I just want to show the power.
Actually, I'm just going to show you their whole fucking page. Actually, is just like.
Well, but no, okay, but after you do that, I specifically want you to put that tweet back.
Here, I'll put that one back up. All right. And...
Okay, so the reason why I'm asking John to put this back up is just to sort of, can you not it. So just to show the power of that here click X out of that. John doesn't know how to Twitter. X out of that, and then above the picture there to get to the actual tweet. There, that's what I needed. So what this is, audio listeners, this is an image. It's about a 2-to-1 scale image of just a bright red rectangle, outlined Rockstar logo in the middle of it. There's no text, there's no context, there's no nothing here. Image, this very extraordinarily simple image has been retweeted 90,932 times and has received 150,904 likes. That right there is the power of brand recognition and social media. Just expert level stuff. I mean, like, how simple of a post could you possibly put up to get that much interaction? I do social media for the cons that I do, and so it's me seeing that boggling to me. But yeah, sorry.
No, you're absolutely right, man. It's the power of interneting. That being said, though, here's hoping it's not just a fucking port, because people are going to rip their heads off and shit down their necks if that is the case. I think people are going to be they're going to be like, you lied to us like Sean Murray, you Hello Games bastards.
I think about the only thing that somebody could do along the same lines would be if somebody at Valve just tweeted the number 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. That's
which
I'm pretty
could
sure
mean different games. It could mean a lot of different things.
Acceptable. Not even fucking on April Fool's Day would that be acceptable. The internet would implode in on itself like a Sarlacc pit, man. Be rough beans. But yeah. So hopefully that's something. They didn't say anything else. There's no explanation, no coming soon, no countdown timer. Just like red ass logo in your face. So moving on to number 4 this week, which actually, full disclosure, I actually meant to make that number 4 and not the other way around. So we'll call it number 5, but it was supposed to be number 4 because it's a much bigger story than this one. Number 4 this week, in kind of keeping with a little bit of a Halloween theme. So a good while back, we had talked about a Friday the 13th game that was kickstarted into some very large numbers, and they showed off what was going to be a multiplayer mode where you're a bunch of kids running away from Jason, and Jason kills the shit out of you in all these very interesting ways. It looked like a shitload of fun. That team announced that they are going to be delaying the game, which normally gets under people's skin, but they're delaying it because they're going to be putting a single player mode into it, and they've pushed it back until spring of 2017. That is fucking awesome, man. They're going to be putting in AI bots. So you'll be Jason and you'll be chasing around the AI bots, killing them, and there'll be scenarios and things like that. And then you'll be able to play it offline. So the only real downside, though, is that this does make it more of a full-featured game for an independent development team. So they are pushing the price of the game, which is going to be in the $30 to $40 price range. They are pushing it to a full-price title at $60. Or I'm sorry, it's going to push it from $30 to $40, but they're saying they don't want to push it to $60. Excuse me, I misread that. If you already backed or pre-ordered it through the Kickstarter, though, you're still going to get the single-player portion of it at no cost, though. So that's a good thing. And they said for anybody, you guys who might be Friday the 13th fans, my brother and I are big horror fans, so we like this stuff. Fan favorite character Tommy Jarvis is going to be playable in the game. If you guys remember, Tommy was played by fucking Corey Feldman before he lost his fucking mind. So yeah, there you go, man. That's kind of cool. That's number 4 for the week. Not much to say on that front, but that is exciting to me, at least. I hope you guys enjoy that.
I'm actually okay with the order, John. I feel like that's kind of a bigger story than a red rectangle.
So? I don't know, man.
I do.
I don't know.
Just because it's almost a non-story. It's like, we've got a rectangle. That's literally all we can tell you about it.
But it's a fucking red-ass rectangle, though.
It's quite a red-ass rectangle.
So red. As anybody who knows me and knows Fallon Flynn knows I love me some redness.
Just bias. That's all it is. If it was blue, if it was red blue redemption and it was a blue rectangle, you wouldn't give a crap.
Plot twist, I'm colorblind. What a twist. That's right. Night Shamalama Ding Dong.
What a twist.
You've been Shamalama Ding Donged, I said to my wife before we conceived our second child.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Moving on.
That's right. Goat's not here. I've got to fill Goat's Charlie discomfort quota.
That's fair. Well done, sir.
You know what? If we ever designed a Gamerhead radio game, that would be our game. Is like you? It would be like Charlie in the middle of Goat and I trying to balance out, Charlie's discomfort level versus his joy. That's what it would be. And you could pick between me and Charlie, or no, you could pick between me and Goat. No, you could pick between all three of us, and then there would be a different mini game for it. Charlie, I see a fucking Gamerhead radio mobile game in our future.
Mobile game developers, please contact us.
Yeah, and then you could buy in order to raise, well, depending on the joke, in order to raise or lower Charlie's spirits, you could do microtransactions and buy a 5-pack of dad jokes. You could deploy them in the middle of the in the fucking game. All right, I'm done here. Moving on. Um, I'm telling you, there's a fucking. You tell me, you guys in chat, you wouldn't play the shit out of them shits. I know I would. Moving on to number 3 this week. Most people don't realize this, but apparently you can claim $55 from Sony due to an old PlayStation 3 lawsuit. So here it is. This is the thing. Pay attention and listen up. If you guys remember, there was this whole thing back in the day that was a big to-do about Sony was going to allow Linux to be on their system, and you could use Linux on the PlayStation 3 as an operating system. Well, they did a firmware update and patched that out and made it impossible for you to use it anymore. And there were people who purchased the system based on their desire to want to put Linux on it and use it there, as opposed to just putting it on a PC. Well, apparently people were pissed off enough about it to take Sony to court, and that ends up being a big problem for Sony, because now at this point, they owe people money. So there are some stipulations to this. If you want to claim, you have to have purchased a fat PlayStation 3, so an original PlayStation 3, which I have, in the US between the 1st of November 2006 and the 1st of April 2010, which I did. You must also supply proof of both purchase as well as ownership or use of Linux on the console. That's if you want the full $55, but you can get $9 if you argue you were gonna use Linux, or you feel your console lost value because of its removal. Hardly seems worth the effort. I want my $9, Charlie.
How does one prove that they did use Linux on it? Like,
oh wait, no, I'm not gonna say that on the show. I had Linux on there, and you guys patched it out, and I want my $55. I need to wipe away the tears of my pain with that $55.
I can verify that I was standing in the room with John, and I'm a witness.
True.
I saw
That's
Linux
true.
running.
Don't listen to episode 86 or whatever it is where I first met Charlie for the first time ever. Clearly, I wasn't meeting him. It was a late April Fool's show. Shut your face.
We were confused, and also maybe time travelers, but that's fine.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, so those of you who might possibly be eligible, get your $55, because if you don't, Sony's going to keep it, and they owe you $55. Moving on to number 2 this week. So the Xbox One, since the release of the Slim, the Xbox One S, has been in the number 1 hardware sales slot for video gaming for 3 months in a row. That's a big, big victory for Microsoft, because as everybody knows, or has known for really essentially the last year in particular, maybe even year and a half, Sony has been absolutely pounding Microsoft into the dirt with PlayStation 4 sales. But apparently the release of the S has done something good for Microsoft, because they're selling a shitload of units. Xbox marketing executive let me try that one more time. Scrape the shit out of my mouth. Xbox marketing executive Aaron Greenberg is thrilled about the news, sending off new messages this week on Twitter about Microsoft's latest win. So grateful to everyone who helped us get back on top, he said in one tweet, using the hashtag, "Don't call it a comeback." I had to sing it like fucking LL Cool J, of course, though. It was the only logical thing to do. In another tweet, Greenberg used only hashtags, hashtag momentum and hashtag Xbox One S. Microsoft's latest win in September is particularly notable since that's the month when Sony launched its slimmed down PlayStation 4 model. That system, like the Xbox One S, launched in August, starting at $300. Microsoft, of course, does not share their sales figures, even though they were leaked out earlier this year. We talked about that. But Xbox boss Phil Spencer said in October 2015 that Sony's lead was so large that he was unsure if the Xbox could ever catch up. So Microsoft seems to be really surprised by the, kind of shift in momentum, I guess. So how do you feel about this, Charlie?
Well, isn't basically this the same thing that happened with the 360 and the PS3? Like the 360 was in the lead for the longest time, and then and then all of a sudden everybody who wanted a 360 had one, and the PS3 caught up, and they
Yeah.
kind of led the final some odd months in that console cycle. I mean, like,
Yes.
there's just a saturation point here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
the differences between the PS4 and the Xbox One, and the argument to get one over the other. It's a lot of things have been ironed out, a lot of things have been taken care of. A lot of the initial arguments and the dings that people put out against the Xbox One when it initially came out. The inclusion of the Kinect, the price point, um, the and stuff like that have been taken care of at this point. It's a
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
much more level playing field now, and so I find it to be completely natural that the vast majority of people that PS4 right now already have one, and so now people are got some income, and now
Mhm.
people who are serious gamers who are able to afford more than one console. Now they're going out and getting the Xbox One, because why the heck wouldn't they? So yeah, no, I'm not really surprised at this at all, personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Microsoft is surprised.
I know. Well, I think they weren't expecting this. You know what? I that's the feeling I get though is that maybe Microsoft wasn't expecting the S to sell all that well. Maybe just to bolster some unit sales until the Scorpio comes out, because that to me that's where the real, like, how's this going to all end up? That's where it really kind of sits for me, is trying to figure out what's going to happen when that comes out. I'm really interested in it. I want it, and I think it's going to be interesting, but I also don't own a PS4, so if I have to pick between a Scorpio and a PS4, I'm going to get a PS4. You know, I just we're going to see what they both do first. I have an Xbox One. I'm happy with it. I want a PS4. I can go play my brother's. I just borrow it anytime, or play his PlayStation VR or whatever. But hardware purchases are, big deal. Got to wait and see what happens first.
Yep.
Moving on to number one for the week, Nintendo NX reveal is expected next week as Macquarie lowers stock rating. So Macquarie Capital Securities in Japan has lowered the recommendation rating on whether or not to invest in Nintendo stock to neutral after raising it to outperform earlier in this year. The reason has been shared in the new report that has been broken down on Seeking Alpha, in which the firm has shared their expectations that the Nintendo NX reveal is coming, quote, next week. Their main concern is that it will be priced between $300 and $350, with worry surrounding whether this will be a threat to the console's chances of becoming a mass market product. Macquarie even goes so far as to suggest that the price could result in, quote, major disappointment for high volume sales. It isn't only the Nintendo NX they're worried about either. With Super Mario Run initially exclusive to iOS devices and not seeing release in China, they argue that it will miss 60% of its potential market, despite Nintendo's assurances that it will arrive on Android soon after. Um, so the key parts that Macquarie's report state and run down are one of the bullet points: running against a general recent bullish tide, Macquarie has downgraded Nintendo to neutral from its previous outperform rating. Next, a long in the works revamp to the company's console, the NX, will, with reveal coming next week, is liable to come at a price that will result in, quote, major disappointment for volume sales. Speculation is putting the price of the new console within $300 $350, in line with competing consoles versus the Wii's former discount to rival boxes from Sony and Microsoft. Companies move into mobile gaming. Super Mario Run has missed an opportunity as well, Macquarie says, being only iOS and ex-China, missing 60% of the market. The firm cut its price target on Nintendo to 25,900 yen from a previous 27,300, implying some fractional downside from today's closing price of 26,075. Um, yeah. Um, Next week, man. All this waiting, and it seems like next week is going to be. What a strange time to reveal a new console, though.
Yeah, it does seem like a noisy time. Like, with all the fall releases coming out and everything, it does seem like an odd decision to me. But I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
strategy hasn't really factored itself into Nintendo's. I mean, that seems hasn't really factored itself into the way Nintendo does things for shit the better part of a decade now, maybe a little longer. They don't really seem to, much like Take Two putting up a Red Dead graphic on a fucking Sunday. Like they just, Nintendo's one of those companies that just does what they want. So I don't know if they're considering the noisy time of the year, because to them they don't really seem to care. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. That's. Are you excited about the impending information coming for the NX?
the idea, the idea that was basically initially attempted with the turbo graphics, the idea that I can have like one console that I can play at home and then I can also then take with me portably, is definitely intriguing. And this is one of the rumors about the NX, is that it's going to be like some weird mobile, a home console hybrid in some way. Do enough mobile gaming to justify a dedicated mobile handset. But there have been times where I go on vacation or whatever, or I know I'm gonna, like I have a specific reason, like where I know on this day I'm gonna have a bunch of time, where the idea of being able to play, to play a game I'm in the middle of, would be it's definitely interesting. So, um, in mind, yes, I'm interested in seeing what the NX ends up being, but of course that's all rumor and speculation. So it's hard to be excited when we have so little information. I mean, in general, just because I'm a gamer and I do this show and everything, yes, I'm definitely excited to find out what the NX actually is. But as far as where I am on the meter of my interest in purchasing one, I'm not on the meter because I don't know anything about the damn thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, hopefully they give it a more standout name than the NX. I know that's just a code name, but they got to do something. If they make something interesting enough, maybe they'll bust through the roof. Because I mean, at $350, $350 to $400, like that's a great price point for a gaming console. And if they can make something solid enough, sturdy enough, maybe that'll be what puts them back on the map. I mean, I don't. Gaming's just changing so much. Maybe they will never make the kind of return to the top of the heap that they were the ones that defined everything for us coming up as kids. I don't know. Maybe that's just gone. You know.
yeah, no, I don't see them ever being. I see them being a very good, comfortable, solid third place, and
Yeah.
behind Microsoft and Sony. And I think they are perfectly fine being that way. Personally, just from it sort of gives them the leeway to do wild and crazy things, to come out with weird peripherals and non-conformative console designs and things like that. So I think that they'll. I mean, like, of course, from a financial and a fiduciary standpoint, I'm sure that they would like to be number one. They would like to make their stockholders more money and all that. But I mean, just from a, I don't know, ideology standpoint, I sort of get the impression that they are just fine with where they are. It's because I think the reality is it's either that or their console division, not their mobile division. The 3DS, I don't think I can't imagine that going anywhere. But at the very least, the home console, it's the side of Nintendo, I feel like it's either third place or it's nothing,
Yeah.
honestly. And so I think they're perfectly happy to stay in third place as opposed to that alternative. So
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
anyways.
There you go. Good stuff. I guess we'll find out next week, and you can be sure that if they do talk about the NX next week, that we'll be talking about it on the show here. Shit, man. If that news comes to light between now and next week, our feature next week might be breaking down the information we have for the NX as opposed to
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
stuffing it into a news story. So we'll see what happens between now and then. So that does it for news this week. But before I close out news for the week, I thought it would be kind of cool to mention in the spirit of the holiday season coming up in the next couple weeks for Halloween, because again, I'm a big fucking Halloween guy. Um, not very Halloween subject matter, or I guess the theme of it, but still pretty cool anyways, because you don't see a lot of people do this for you. 343 Industries, who are the current handlers and maker of the last couple of Halo games, put out a blog post, as a lot of developers do regularly, updating their communities on what they've got and what they're doing for their games. One of the things they did for Halloween was they put out a series of Halloween pumpkin stencils that they designed based on the Halo property, and there's 11 of them. And what's cool is they actually range them based on difficulty levels. So I'm gonna go ahead and screen share so you guys can see these. We're gonna include the link to these in the news stories this week, so that you guys have access to them if you'd like. And then they've got them where it's color coded too, gray and like white. And so let me screen share and show you the first one here. Um, if you take a look, I'm gonna scroll down. The gray areas right here, they'll tell you, it's a keyed here to say you scrape that section out, you don't cut it. And then the white areas are the areas you're supposed to cut out. And as you can see in the top left corner here, the stencil, this one's easy. You've got, just gonna scroll down and show you guys, kind of give you an idea. Difficulty normal. Um, you
Dude, this
know,
is awesome.
Master Chief's right. Isn't this really fucking cool that they're
This
doing
is
this for
really cool.
fans? Yeah, Master Chief's helmet, and then just some of the various like UNSC like unit logos and stuff like that.
Difficulty, heroic, and legendary.
Yeah, I know it's totally fucking Halo themed, man. I'm gonna send these to Ryan on because he's a huge Halo fan. So, I this would be a bitchin' pumpkin, man.
Yeah.
It's an elite, turning that into. So I mean, they've just got all these different different stencils you can do. So I just thought I'd share that with viewers and listeners in case you guys are big enough Halo fans or you wanted something video game themed on your pumpkins as opposed to something horror themed. Yeah, we'll use that to cap off news for the week, even though that's not technically fucking news. Good stuff.
Definitely. So yeah, so like we talked about at the top of the show, this is gonna be an express show, so that's gonna do it for news. In lieu of a full mailbag, because we're saving that mailbag to go along with the VR feature when we end up having it. We were delivered a review of the Pokemon Go Plus by one of our more dedicated listeners, viewers, chat room participants. Hi, Darcy. Darcy Mitchell, who sent us a review of the Pokemon Go Plus. And so I'm going to read that for you because I think this is pretty great. So Darcy writes, "Hey there, Gamerheads. Darcy here with your Pokemon Go Plus review. As one of the few remaining Pokemon Go players in the world, after all the false promises and glitches weeded out the weak ones," that'd be me. That's fair. I thoroughly enjoy having this wearable vibrator on my wrist about 10 hours a day. This device has you anticipating the ominous vibration of either a Pokemon that will likely get away or a Pokestop that you are going past too quickly to get anything from. It's a real treat, let me tell you. I'm detecting some sarcasm here, John. But
dripping with sarcasm.
Yes. Okay, but seriously, this thing is great for diehards. I pretty much stopped playing before this came out, and when it did, I had to wait an extra 2 weeks to get it because GameStop was all sold out. If anybody finds one of these, by the way, please buy it and send it to me, and I will pay you back and make it worth your while because I have not been able to successfully locate one of these yet. You pair it with Bluetooth, and then it goes into the game to make sure the device is active. If it's inactive for 30 minutes, it automatically shuts off until you go back into the game and repair it. It takes C battery, good C batteries, really, okay. And it fits snugly on my wrist on the bracelet. You have to actually unscrew the clip and attach it to the bracelet piece, kind of a pain, but I love the bracelet a lot more than the clip. Color guide is this, referring to, so if you guys haven't seen this thing, if you at some point, I'm assuming that you've seen your typical Google Maps pin where it's like a circle with like a point coming down out of it. And so this is basically shaped like that, but color coded like a Pokeball with the red top and then the white bottom. And then in the center where the Pokeball little circle is, where you just press the button to get it to open up, there's a light that lights up. And that's what she's talking about here. So the color guide of how it lights up is this. Green is Pokemon that you've already caught, yellow is for Pokemon you haven't caught, and blue is for Pokestops. You press the button, wait for the white processing light to pass, and if it flashes red, the catch or Pokestop swipe failed. If it flashes rainbow, it was successful. When you go to catch a Pokemon, it uses only Pokeballs, and if you fail, the Pokemon runs away. Also, it counts your steps for hatching eggs. You don't need the game to be open on your phone for it to be active. To me, that is the single biggest selling point of this entire thing. Except apparently you have to touch your phone every 30 minutes to keep it to keep it paired, I guess, which is, I mean, that's fine. Since I got it, I've leveled, evolved a ton of Pokemon and filled my Pokemon bank to the brim. Damn Pidgeys and Needles.
Wow.
But the price was a bit much, $35. I think 15 to 20 would have been better, honestly. Yes, but they can charge 35 because it's sold out everywhere many times over. So I'm sure they're making quite a bit of profit on this. Also, I've gone through Pokeballs like candy. I've had to pay for Pokeballs twice since I got it because obviously you can't use any of the items to make Pokemon easier to catch. And from what I'm understanding of this review here, it doesn't tell you at all. Like if you haven't played the game, when you attempt to catch a Pokemon, it gives you like a visual color indication of how difficult the Pokemon is going to be to catch. But from what I'm understanding, this gives you absolutely zero indication of the difficulty level here. So you could be tossing Pokeballs like breathing air at a very difficult to catch Pokemon, where normally if you were playing the game, you would either switch to better Pokeballs or like do the I see this is how long it's been since I played the game. I forget the item that you use on it to make it easier to catch. But anyways, so yeah, I'm not surprised that
are you talking about the lures? Yeah.
neither the actual in battle item that you use.
Oh, okay. The berries.
The berries.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of. So I'm not surprised she's been going through Pokeballs like nothing, which could be a very devious, conspiracy theory, maybe intent. I don't know. But especially
Darcy
because she's
says
had
in
to
the
pay.
chat that it's not a C battery, that she was wrong. It's a watch battery, that was a typo, and she
All
follows
right.
up by saying that the unit will immediately flash red if you're out of balls.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that it's one of the little disc CR2032 batteries is probably what it is.
Probably so.
I've had to pay for Pokeballs twice since I got it. It's a pain, and it also doesn't always pick up Pokestops, but it picks up Pokemon that don't always show on the screen while the game is open. Interesting. So it's a give and take. That's what I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week. Yes, Darcy, thank you very much for that.
Yes, thanks for taking the time to tell us about it, Darcy. Very cool stuff.
I would definitely say. Well, so John, let me ask you: does that, after hearing that, where does your interest lie on picking up one of these things for $35?
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna pick one up, not because I don't think it's a neat accessory, or certainly useful if you're playing the game regularly. But here's my current assessment of kind of the state of things with Pokemon Go, because Megan is still regularly playing it. So I get a lot of like feedback from her about what's going on with it. I don't really have the kind of time, and I was kind of walking everywhere this summer. I spent a lot of time on foot, so I played it a lot over the summer. Now that we're into fall, I'm not, and now that I'm starting a new job, I'm just not. And then there's a bunch of V's for Villain stuff coming up, so I don't have the fucking time. So I'm not really playing it, but here's my big thing with it. When I do bust it out, rarely, it is fundamentally broken on a lot of levels. There's a lot of shit still wrong with that app. And until they get it fixed, I'm not really interested in investing a lot of time in playing it. And they gotta get it. They gotta get it to a place where it's more consistent. Like, I don't know if any of you guys are having this problem. I haven't opened that app in probably 2 weeks, and I keep getting like force close, Pokemon Go is not responding, force close notifications on my phone regularly when I'm in the middle of doing shit. Megan's getting them too, so I know it's not just me. And I'm going to
when the app isn't even open, like when you haven't even been using it. Oh, that's weird.
I haven't opened it in weeks. I'll fucking from a fresh reboot on my phone. Well, and I know it's not just me because it happens to Megan all the time too. She was complaining about it too, and it's been happening for about 2 weeks. I've been having this problem. So it's more than anything. It's just kind of a mild annoyance, but yeah, it's being obnoxious.
I might suggest uninstalling the app and reinstalling it, because
Darcy is saying that
neither Michelle or I are having that problem.
Yeah, Darcy's asking if I updated it. I think I have it set to auto update, Darcy, but I'll check anyways. Maybe that'll fix the problem for me. Either way, it's just a really buggy game, and I want them to fix it. If they expect me to keep playing it, you know what I mean. I just want it to work. So yeah, that's it. But thank you, Darcy, again for reviewing that piece of hardware for us. Very neat. Very cool.
Absolutely. I would say if I can get my hands on one, just because I'm that type of person, I'm definitely interested in grabbing one. I'd very much like to check it out. I don't know. But I mean, I haven't opened the game up at all recently. Darcy, I'm one of the weak trainers. I'll admit. I'll fess up to that. But yeah, I'm sort of on the same level as John. When the game came out, like I was taking walks. I don't take lunch at work. So, like I find that taking a lunch at work, it breaks my flow, and it makes it like when I actually do go and eat and come back after lunch, I find it to be so incredibly difficult to like concentrate for the entire rest of the day. Like it just completely screws up my head game for the day. So I typically don't take lunch. When Pokemon Go came out, instead of taking lunch, I was going for walks. I was playing Pokemon Go, because like many of the rest of the people in this country and world. But I stopped doing that just because. So I don't know. I don't know. Off on tangent, but yeah, I being able to play it without having to have my phone be so active is very enticing prospect to me, especially if they find ways to make it better. But
it'd certainly be a lot less cumbersome than just having to walk around with your phone on.
Yes, absolutely. And especially if it counts steps. Like that's one of the things too. Like if being able to have it count your steps for hatching eggs and stuff without having to have the app like running in the front of your phone, even if you have it on sleep mode, like upside down or whatever, and the screen's dark. Still, I mean, like when I'm taking a walk, I sometimes want to be doing other things on my phone, like getting directions or looking up something or reading Facebook. I don't know what else. Like, so the fact that I have to like make the decision, okay, I'm going to stop counting steps now so I can go do one of the other 800 things on my phone I might want to do. Like the fact that you actually don't anymore, I find to be really, 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 really compelling. But yeah, I got to find one first. So then there's that. Darcy, there's a GameStop that's right by my work, and I go in there, I like twice a week. Like after work, I'll just pop in and they nothing, and they'll check out their stores and be like, oh, they got one, so it's probably already gone, kind of a thing. So it's I haven't gotten to the point where I'm gonna like all 20 GameStops and like try and track one down that way. It's not quite that important to me. Like if I come across one, I'll definitely pick it up, but yeah, so digressing. Thank you again, Darcy, for the review. Greatly appreciated. Somebody send me a Pokemon Go Plus. Appreciate that. And
I think you snuck that in there.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for our show this week. So John, over this next week, do you have anything you want to share with folks?
We've been keeping things kind of quiet on the V Surveillance front. So just a short update. Nick's got the studio broken into two pieces right now, because he's actually looking for a new place to put it that is a better place to have it than where he has it, because where he has it right now is functional. He's able to get some things done, but it's not where he wants it to be. So that is very cryptic, but he's going to be moving the studio. And in the interim, we've been talking about a lot of stuff lately in lieu of some of the recent departures, and we're thinking about building a lot of new stuff. I know that we've been talking a lot about guitar tones, what we're going to be doing. Nick's invested in some new stuff to engineer guitars a little bit better for the recording, because we just don't want to. I don't want to use the same guitar tones that I used on that record. The last couple records, I've been trying to play with some ideas. I want new pickups, new hardware. So we started tracking some of it, and we're not going to scrap it at all. We're not going to just throw the work out, but I want to change the dynamic of it. I'm personally not happy with what I'm tracking. Not the performance, just I want to do something different with my audio. I'm bored with what I have, we'll say that. So that's a little bit of a change. So Nick assured me and everybody else that him owning a PlayStation VR is not going to delay the release of Murder in the Art any further than it already has been. There's nothing stopping him from working on it. He's still working on it. And thank you, Darcy. I am trying to go for quality. That's what it is. My brother, some of it too is like, it's hard to explain this if you're not a musician, but playing on music equipment is not any different than working in any other, artistic or creative medium. So like you have your tools to create something with, and if you play with those tools for long enough, you will eventually like outgrow them. It's like when you're a kid, I played with these toys, and like I've outgrown these toys, and I want something more than these children's toys now. So as you get better as a musician, you will want better equipment. You will want equipment that challenges your ability to create, not just rest on your laurels. Or at least I think a good creative person will not want to rest on their laurels with their hardware and their software and whatever it is they're using. So I am wanting to go for quality. That's really what it is. I have a really great rig, a professional rig, but it's got a little age on it. And the thing is that like any other piece of hardware in the world, guitar equipment is no different than anything else. If you sit on it for long enough, it will have a specific tone and feel and still be of use. But if you want something modern, of modern quality, then you have to get modern hardware. And I'm kind of looking to upgrade my whole fucking rig. Not to mention a slew of changes that may be coming for the show moving forward. So we'll talk about all that as it unfolds. That's way off in the future. But yeah. So that's it. Starting a new job. I'm still on the. I don't know if I ever talked about this on the show or not. I can't remember because I've got tapioca pudding brain. But I know I talked about that I'm still in class, but I'm on the debate team. A lot of people don't know that shit because it's super fucking nerdy and I don't really talk about it. But I'm actually on the competitive speech and debate team at the school that I go to. And I'm working on a bunch of shit for that because I'm a varsity member of the team, and they want me to help the new people coming in and shit. So that's everything I got going on, man. I'm floating down the river of life, hopefully not over the edge of a raging waterfall to my doom. We'll see.
Well, paddle on, John, paddle on. And
I will.
so yeah, ponies. I mean, ponies and cider is pretty much my world right now. I'm that. What else is there to say, right? So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. The next week's show will be interesting, and too, just because of seeing where everything's at. Goat's not here, so we can't really check with him in terms of the likelihood of him being on the show next week. So as always, keep attention to our feeds, and we'll update things as we go. As soon as we have ideas of when the show recording will be next week, if it's not our normal time of 8 p.m. Central Sunday. Well, here I can check one thing here. Let's see. Dope. Where Goat be next week? So next Sunday is the 23rd, and he will be in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and so he will be behind us in time. So I think that'd be 9 p.m. for him there. So it just depends on. I think I don't know that actually. Yeah, see, I actually have no idea of the likelihood of him being able to be here because I have no idea what their set time is. So that doesn't really tell me anything. So, anyways, so we'll find out and we'll update you guys. And as for next week's show, we'll just keep an eye on the feeds. It may be the VR thing if we're able to get some good time in with the PSVR. We'll come back to that. If the Nintendo NX doesn't get fully announced, like we're kind of hoping / expecting it to, then we'll probably just divert to that because that'll probably be a big deal. So it may just be asking for your feedback on that. Just keep an eye on social media, and we'll let you know what our mailbag and topic and feature will be for next week. And then the week after that, of course, I will be in. If you're a pony nerd, Milwaukee. Yes, hopefully acquiring some sort of short interview with Mr. Don Delancey to include on the show here. But yeah, so that's sort of all our little mini programming notes and everything in our future. That being said, I hope you've enjoyed this little express show version of Gamerhead Radio. If you've liked what you heard, you can find us at gamerheadradio.com, at facebook.com/gamerheadradio, at google.com/+gamerheadradio, and on Twitter at Gamerhead Radio, where I am at TEK Charlie, John is at The Fallon Flynn, and Goat is at Sir Goatsworth. You can email us at editors@gamerheadradio.com or call us and leave us a voicemail at 94926gamer. You can download the official Gamerhead Radio app on Android devices from the Google Play Store, or you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Twitch, or with your podcast downloader of choice. Thank you very much for watching, listening, subscribing. Please do subscribe and like and upvote and review us and stuff like that. That stuff really does help us and exposes our show, makes it easier for other people to find us. Yeah, has been episode 189 of Gamerhead Radio.
God damn.
And lead in, I guess we just. I think maybe we just play this one straight.
Oh, all right. I got the lead in. It's perfect.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you hear the chugga 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 of the Dicktrain rolling through. And what it is this time is it's gonna be like toot toot, all aboard the Dicktrain Express line. That's what it is. We're taking the express train. To all aboard the Gamerhead Radio Dicktrain Express to Ponyville.
Oh man.
There you go. It's your show, man. You rock that shit.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Oh God, how do I do this?
Oh, you want me to do the chugga chugga chuggas? Chugga 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 toot toot.
Today in Gamerhead Radio, God help us, all aboard the I can't
We'll do it
it.
again.
I can't
we'll do it
do
again.
it, John. I can't. No, I can't do it.
You want me to do it?
Try one more time.
Today
Give
on
me the
Gamerhead
chuggers.
Radio. You know what you got to do? You got to do it like a train conductor yelling out to the people waiting to get on the train. Today on Gamerhead Radio. All aboard Gamerhead Radio, Dicktrain Express line to Ponyville. Toot, toot. And I'll do another lead out, chugga chugga toot toot. All right.
I'm nowhere near drunk enough for this. We just to say
get
I've
this
had
man
energy
some beer,
drinks.
stat. Oh my god.
Which is say I'm not drunk at all, but yeah.
Darcy just asked anything big planned for episode 200. We were just talking about that. We'll see. We haven't talked about it yet, but we need to talk about that. Yeah. All right, you ready?
Going to be.
Chugga 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 toot toot.
Oh, the Pony Train Express. Oh, see, I fucked it up.
It's all right. Please edit that shit into some Easter eggs. All right,
no,
ready?
at least the volume okay. I didn't blow out the mic or anything.
No, it's fine. Totally fine. It sounds distanced. You're using the room reverb well. All right.
Okay.
Chugga 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 toot toot.
All aboard the Gamerhead Radio Express train to Dickville.
Fucking killed me dead, Charlie. That's it. I quit the fucking show, Charlie. I quit. This is so fucking good, dude. Express train to Dickville. What's wrong with you?
Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh, what have I done?
Oh god.
So good. Too good.
So happy that's recorded.
Holy shit. We haven't had one of those moments in a while. I'm glad to see that make a return. I'm so sad Goat missed that. Goat would be, you know what would happen? Goat would be like, I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be back when you guys are done with this shit. Anyways, all right.
I can't even. Okay.
Gamerhead Radio.
All aboard.
All aboard. Gamerhead Radio. The Gamerhead Radio Dicktrain Express line to Ponyville.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
No.
Oh, fucking ridiculous. All right.
Okay.
Fucking, I got tears in my eyes, man. I'm wiping tears off here. Okay. Today on Gamerhead Radio. Toot toot. All aboard. All aboard the express, the Gamerhead Radio Dicktrain Express line to Ponyville.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No, but go ahead.
Get into character, Charlie. Like, who is the train conductor? Where does he come from? You know, live that life in your mind. Ready?
Okay, go.
Chugga 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 chugga. Toot toot.
All aboard the Gamerhead Radio Dicktrain Express to Ponyville. Gamerhead Radio starts now.
Chugga 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 chugga. Toot toot. I have never been more simultaneously thrilled and ashamed of the show. I'm so proud of you. I'm so sorry, everybody watching and listening. It was too good. It's too good. You know, one day my son's gonna.
I should have gotten closer to the screen and looked up. Darcy typed it up for me, but I was sitting back, so I wasn't looking over there. But so thank you, Darcy, for I wish I had seen that.
Woof. It's good.
We're gonna go off there.
How do we top that? We can't top that.
We don't. Show's over, guys. Go home.
Everybody, thank you for catching these early shows for the last couple weeks off and on. We're just trying to make sure we can include Goat, you know what I mean, so that you guys get the show that you expect. So, yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing that magical moment with us at the end of the fucking show. It's too good, man. Oh, so fucking good.
We're gonna go off air, guys. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
and we'll hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks again
Good
for the
night,
review,
guys.
Darcy. I appreciate it.